Hey guys, all right, so this is the very last video that we have, and tomorrow we'll do a final Zoom, okay? So yesterday I should have received everybody's homework and graded it and gotten you back to you with what corrections you needed to do. If you didn't already give me your corrections yesterday on the homework you did yesterday, you make sure you get your corrections to me today as quickly as you can and get started on your review if you haven't already done so. Now you have today and tomorrow to complete your review lesson. And let me just say, it is on page 516, and it is page 516, and it's numbers 1 through 39, okay? So if you'll open up your book to page 516, I will go ahead and tell you where you can look in your book to get some help on this if you need any help. You may already remember all these things, especially since if you need help on knowing how to add or subtract, multiply, divide, I sort of reviewed that in yesterday's lesson. You could go back and watch that. That would help you with almost this entire lesson. Actually, the video yesterday would help you with the entire lesson here on review lesson, because I went over everything yesterday that you're going to need to know for today. But you're only going to do numbers 1 through 39, okay? So if you're looking at number 1 through 1, 2, 3, okay, there is an example of that, page 482, example 1, and you're going to draw one number line, and you're going to do 1, 2, and 3 all on there. So number 1 is -6, and then number 2 is a +3, and then number 3 is a -2. So you're going to have a 0, and you're going to have to make evenly spaced marks, and you have to go at least as far as -6, because that's the farthest -6 number. And then it's got to go at least in the positives as high as +3. And you will label every one of these just like they do in the example. But here's the kicker, and a couple of y'all did not do this. Carson, I think you were one that did not do this. You must put a dot. If it said -4, let's see, this is -1, -2, -3, -4. If it said -4, I have to put a circle there. I have to color it in to show that I have graphed my -4. If it said +2, I would go, here's my +2, and I'm going to put a circle there. See how I did that? So make sure that all three of those, numbers 1, 2, and 3, are graphed on this same number line. And that's what the instructions say, to do it on the same number line. Don't have a number line for each one of those. All right, so number 4, 5, and 6, compare by using greater than or less than. You will copy the problem, and you'll put greater than or less than in there as an answer. And that's page 483. Right below the definition on that page, it shows you, talks about how to do that, okay? Number 7 and 8, write in order from least to greatest. Well, that's page 484. We did skill check 2. That's those same exact kind of problems. Number 9, 10, and 11, that was page 486, skill check 1, and that's talking about absolute value. We reviewed that also yesterday in our lesson. When you get to 12, 13, and 14, it says simplify each expression. That means to solve it. That means to work it out. So you're going to have the problem written. You're going to work it out below, bit by bit. I don't know how many rows you're going to need, but it's going to look sort of like an upside down triangle, so that the final answer will be at the bottom and you will circle it, okay? And that was skill check 2 on page 487, where we did some just like that. All right? The next two sections, you have add and subtract, then you have multiply and divide. So when you add or subtract, remember the addition rules. When the signs are the same, if you have two positives, add them and your answer is positive. If you have two negatives, you add them and your answer is negative. If you're adding a positive to a negative, you subtract them and you give the answer of the larger number. When you have a subtraction problem, you will change that subtraction problem to an addition problem, and you will reverse the sign of the following number. So if it's a positive, you'll change that following number to a negative. And so then you'll have an addition problem and you follow all the addition rules, okay? If you're multiplying or dividing, if the numbers that you're working with are the same, your answer will be positive. If the signs are different, if one's positive and one's negative, your answer will be a negative. There you go. That's how simple that is. And then you come to the final section, which is perform the indicated operations. So they've got adding and dividing and multiplying all in the same problem, and that's where we use PEMDAS. It is the lesson 11.7 that we just did yesterday, and so that's on page 505 and 506. If you want detailed instruction on that, watch yesterday's video, okay? All right, so you do great on this review. It is the final grade. It is a test grade. Isn't it wonderful? You get to use your book, okay? So use the tools that you have. Don't just rush through. Check it, be neat, circle all those answers. Make sure you know if it's positive or negative and that you've marked it properly, okay? All right, and so tomorrow I want to Zoom with you. So have your homework done by the time we Zoom at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, okay? So have all of this done by the time we Zoom at 10 o'clock, all right? Okay, I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for our final Zoom meeting. All right, bye-bye.